So today I did the 5 a.m. shift at the train station. The issue is that there's a lot of volunteers from other groups that come around like 9, 10, and but there's a freaking train set to arrive from Kiev at 5 in the morning most days, and then a bunch of other trains like the humanitarian train to Prague and uh, trains to Poland, which are free. All trains outside the country from that vokzal are free for Ukrainians with the slip that they just came into the country or the international uh, Ukrainian passport with the stamp in it. So it's super busy between like when the 5 and 8, and all the other volunteers from all the other orgs don't tend to show up until right after that. So it was like me and another girl from Britain in the Russian for Ukrainians house and for Ukraine house in here with me. She's like Russian British, and then Ivan from Russia, and like is the biggest rush of the day. And then when the 12 o'clock rush came, it was like nothing. So it was just the three of us working this huge rush. So yeah, it's just the three of us working this huge rush. And I mean, yeah, I wasn't there at like night, like at 10 at night. Sometimes there's a crazy rush too. But at that point, there's a lot of volunteers there. In the morning, 5 in the morning, there's nothing. So this is just a couple pictures from the platform to Warsaw. But this is just one of three trains that left within an hour of each other, and arrivals with buses and trains from different places. So yeah, so that's what I did this morning. By the time it was over around like 7, 8, it was starting to come down. I was tired as hell. Part of what we do when we work at the train station, is we go back and forth in this underground tunnel that connects the train station to the bus station and the passport control, which is on the other side of the tunnel, which is super convenient. And like help like lug a little old lady's luggages across the tunnel and stuff like that. And this guy was in the tunnel playing the accordion, and I threw him an American quarter. First, I tried to offer him a hryvnia, 50 cent hryvnia, and he goes, no. So then I threw him an American quarter, and he's like, yes, good, Biden. And then every time I walk by, not every time, but like half the times I walk by him, which was probably another like 20 times, he'd just look at me and go, Biden, and stick up his stuff, and gave me a thumbs up. He'd be like, Biden. And so it was pretty goofy. Uh, but yeah, so he was there playing for everyone. And this next picture is just a picture I took from my friend Frank, because he asked me to take pictures of weird packaged food. Like, that's just cartons of purified water. I don't know. They don't, never really seen cartons of water in the US like that, but okay. But so yeah, so that was kind of an uneventful day as far, well, I mean, it was eventful as far as I worked at the train station. It was crazy, and we were trying to like help people figure out their lives and get on their trains and whatnot. But I worked from 5 until like 2, and then I came home and napped, and then I'm just hanging out at the house now. Some lady needed work, and I was just talking to her and trying to figure it out. And all of a sudden, some guy comes up to me and he goes, "Here, call this lady. This will work." And I've called her, and it's like legit a lady from Poland that speaks Ukrainian that's like trying to help Ukrainians out of nowhere. So that was kind of amazing, but kind of crazy. This next picture is I was trying to take a picture of this guy using his phone to scan the QR code, which is like a huge information packet about humanitarian aid and different options for Ukrainians to resettle and get visas and stuff. But he noticed me taking the picture of him and turned around and gave me the death stare. Um, these are just the kinds of things that are like posted all over. I didn't really zoom in close enough for you guys to read it, but it doesn't really matter. It's just all sorts of information about numbers to call and how to apply for refugee visas to different countries, and how to get registered at refugee centers and things like that. Tomorrow I'm probably going to go work at the Tesco again, the center. And then it will be my last day actually for a little while. We're taking a little break. Tomorrow will be my 8th day in a row. So then after that, I think we're gonna take like 6 or 7 days in a row off. But then we're coming back and like hitting the ground running. Like we have our bearings now, I can show up at the train station and kind of figure out what's going on pretty quickly, whereas it took me a couple days to know anything. So we'll see what happens. Um, this next picture I took was weird. There's a border patrol building, right? And we direct people to it. And I never noticed, but there's these doors that lead to the basement of it, and it was open, and I saw them practicing like martial arts. I took a picture. Luckily, they didn't notice me taping them. Their death stare probably would have been worse than that guy's. Oh, one of the most eventful things that happened was I ran all around town trying to buy a phone charger for this lady who had an outdated Nokia brick phone with those like stick chargers that there's 5 different types of that barely exist anymore. So that was my contribution to the humanitarian aid relief effort today. You're welcome.